Eat my shorts. Eat my shorts.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta sleeve it.
Eat my shorts.
Good morning. Pokey last snagging first, Mac with the second. Nice. Turtle X with the third with the 20 stream streak in. Let's go. Derp, welcome in. J-Dog, Bay-Dog, welcome in. Happy, what is it? Happy Twice Day, y'all. We're gonna hockey about it today. We are gonna hockey about it. I am ready and yet not ready. Ooh, I gotta update the overlay stuff real quick. NHL 08. Game 68. Game 68, 48 days, 22 hours, 38 minutes, and 2 seconds. It's a good strat. I've heard all I need to hear about that strat. I already know it's a winner. I'm sold. What a good shredder says. All right, y'all. Let's hockey about it.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Dang, I forgot about that. Oh, guess we got to update. EA Sports. ¿Por qué no los dos?
EA Sports.
Dang, double EA Sports. Oh my Jenga. See, it's both. That's right. E, 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 E. All right. Let's see. I guess we gotta create a profile. Come on. Let's go. Okay, whatever. Jeez Louise, that's a lot of words. I don't even know what I just agreed to. I think I need to do Dynasty mode. I'm gonna put the skill at rookie. 5-minute periods. Let's keep it nice and low. Can't play so connect. Truth. 5-minute 4-on-4, then shootout. Just shootout. Just no overtime. No overtime. No salary cap. AI learning. I don't know if I want that or not. First name general, last name manager. First name ding ding. Ah, Messed up. Ding ding manager. I accidentally pressed A. Oh, now a ding ding manager. What have I done? Oh man. Great. Ding ding dynasty. Oh. Ding ding manager is definitely bringing in the cash. I was hoping I could simulate, but I don't know how that works. Let's see. Here's my players. Rules. Offsides off. Icing off. Penalties, fighting's all the way up by default. Fight difficulty. Sunny Tapa, welcome in. I'm good. How are you? Daniel, welcome in. Icing is delicious. I'm gonna do the dynasty mode, so I think I have to like probably win the series. I only guess. Yeah, that's my guess. Turn on fatalities. That's what we really need, huh? Coaching options. How? GM options. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long one, huh? Can I can simulate it, right? If I just put them in the center, it'll simulate it, right? Is that the deal? Like, am I just automatically the Ducks? Is that the deal? I don't mind being the Ducks. That's fine. Oh, I think you're right. Man, I wonder if there's a... I don't know if I'm allowed to simulate in this. Calendar, maybe. Simulate. Okay, cool. We got that figured out. Somebody saw a select teams. I didn't see where that was. I believe you that it exists, but I didn't see it. Oh, dope. Okay, I'm gonna simulate for sure. Paintsaw. Oh yeah, no, that's just for this game, Derp. That's just where you wanna, just for the games. I think it's just for those games. I don't think there's like a. I'm just gonna simulate. I'll just be the Ducks. It's fine. It's not that big a deal. I'm gonna spend more time. All right, calendar. Do I have to simulate? Oh, we tied. Do you have to simulate per game? I know you said maybe highlight, but I don't see. Yo, this is crazy. All right. NHL Communications. I got congratulated on a new job. Yeah, Turtle, I saw that. I didn't know if I just select near like the end. Is that what you're thinking? Not highlight. I just kind of go to the end. Okay. So maybe to this. Simulate up to this day. Let's see what happens. What if we can just simulate our way to victory? Dang, 5-5. Dang, 5-5. 5-4. 7-4. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Derp. How you doing, CSB? Alley Cat, welcome in. Oh no. Do I want to claim him? I don't know. Overall 78 doesn't seem that good. Bye. Oh, we losing a lot. Maybe I should have taken their guy. Yeah, what a good Shredder. Thank you, Shredder. This is exciting stuff here. I'm gonna have to learn how to play hockey at some point, though. With this record, we're not making it. We're not making it to playoffs. That's a lot of losses. That's right. There's always next year. No, dude. The people are getting worse. Oh, I want to be the Sharks. Female Olympic skaters? Where? It's true. There are a lot of similarities between the two. Okay, how do I be the Sharks instead? I'm the closest. I'm the Anaheim Ducks. What am I doing? I don't know what's happening. Leave me alone. Wait, what is happening? This player has a one-way contract. Wait, no, wait, what? Why is it not showing the person I wanted to take? I'm very confused. This is unclear. We're just gonna continue moving on. They're from space? What? I got a Goldberg jersey a few months ago. Nice. Damn, there's a lot of hockey games, eh? A lot of games in a season. I don't get the appeal of sports. That's fair. I only enjoy watching sports that I played. Or rather, I only enjoy watching sports that I played and also enjoyed. So you played zero sports, you watched zero sports. That's very fitting. Yep. I don't understand the like tribalism aspect of sports watching, but I don't have to understand everything. People love it, makes them happy. That's fine with me. There's so many games just to lose a season. 21, 24, 6, and 0. There's so much media that you can enjoy without knowing the sport. Oh, yeah, that's dope. Today's All-Star game. Would you like to stop? Nah, let's simulate the All-Star game too. This game is dope. I'm about to lose though. 22, 26, and 6. Like we're out of contention, right? It's because I didn't get to be the Sharks. See, I don't understand what this means. The New York Islanders is placing John Sim on waivers. Would you like to claim him? Whatever. Rookie of the Year. Yeah, exactly. You can watch movies and stuff and still enjoy them without enjoying the sport. I think the thing that is from an outsider's perspective, people get so upset over sports. Like whether or not their team wins or loses, they get very upset. And I don't get that part. But again, I don't have to get it. I do not have to understand it. Sure, let's pass the trade deadline. I don't care. Auto cucumber. Dang. I once had an auto cucumber. Look at, we're starting to win games for some reason. Oh, lost. As soon as I said something, we lost 2 in a row. What the heck? We get to listen to this amazing music here. Yeah, exactly. Totally, Derp. That's the way it should be. So many ties. 38, 30, and 9. That's not a good record. Yeah, exactly, Chainsaw. Exactly, Chainsaw. All right, well, 41, 30, and 10. E. Can I just simulate this last one? What happens? Continue to cause both your AHL and NHL games to be simmed. I don't know what that means. Let's just see what happens. Okay. Now what? Now what? What's this? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what's happening. Does anybody know what's happening? Like, what are the little hockey circles? I need a hockey person to explain what the hell is happening here. Regular season has ended. Okay. Now what? I gotta play the Sharks? Oh, that's not good. We're gonna lose, huh? Yeah. Oh, we won one. Oh, man. That was it. I don't know what's happening, y'all. To be honest. Like, what are all these? What are all these pencil dates? What if I simulated the pencil dates? That was as far as I could go. As far as I could tell, anyways. That was as far as I could go. Dang. The playoffs have ended. Okay. Well, I wanted to be... I probably should have played the Sharks. I should play the playoffs, I think. Like, if we make it to the playoffs again... I should, Are you sure you'd like to auto draft? Yeah. Auto draft, y'all. Yeah, the Stanley Cup is what I want. And so I think what, yeah, thank you, Turtle. Yeah, definitely want the Stanley Cup, but, I think in retrospect, I should have played the playoffs to guarantee win. Or to hopefully guarantee a win, right? It wasn't clear where it was. That's the problem. And I can't, I could only, it wasn't clear where that was, and I could only I simmed up to the playoffs. I simmed through the playoffs and lost to the Sharks in the playoffs. So I didn't even get an option to play for the Stanley Cup because I lost the simulation game to the Sharks in the playoffs. So next time, now I know for the next one that it basically how it works is well, now I notice how it works is as you sim through the season, it tells you when the regular season ended. It's like, all right, regular season ended. Oh my gosh. No. Dude, I hate people so much. I want to punch that person in the mouth so hard. I can't even get rid of that. That's just here now. Hi. We need to remove these crazy, I don't know, words from the channel. It always happens so fast. I almost had it. I almost had it before they typed the whole words. Oh, I hate people so much. That's some YouTube baloney right there. Okay, focus, hocus pocus. But yeah, I got this, Turtle. Yeah, I hate it. Oh, he's gone. I removed him from the channel, Turtle Axe. I already removed him. I just barely missed it. Yours will be affected soon. Okay. Yeah, he's on YouTube. Somebody created an account just to do that. Yeah, boo. People are so gross. I was so close to stopping it too. So close. I was just like stuck on this. Did I break it? Oh, there it goes. All right, so now I think what I can do is I can simulate to here, which should be maybe the end of the season. All right, we got this. Maybe we can impose some kind of delay from YouTube chat to Twitch display. I don't know that Botrix allows that, to be fair. Exactly, Turtle. They know. They know what they're doing, for sure. 100%. Ugh. It's stuff like that that I'm like, do I even have chat on stream? Because that could happen at any point. Maybe I just put the box art there and we don't display chat, but then Twitch can't converse with YouTube. That's the dumb part. Unless there's another way now. Maybe there's a new way to do it. Now that it's allowed, there might be a chat combiner that everybody chats in the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. What's wrong with people? 9, 7, and 1. Will we even make it to the playoffs? I don't even know how that works. I felt like my record was bad, but I guess my record doesn't have to be good. It just has to be better than everyone else. Calgary Flames. Lot of simulating here. It takes forever, honestly. It takes longer than I thought it would. This is not a good season. 9-13-3. Oof. This is a rough one. I remember to install my game, though. Y'all should be proud of that. I remember the thing. 11-14-3. This season's worse. I'm about to switch teams. I wanted to be the Sharks. Yeah, the No Game Monday took hella long for some reason, right? That wasn't just me. I don't know what the little hockey... See how some of them have the circle on them? What are those? What do those mean? Oh, it was just a regular Monday that had no game on it. Like, we didn't play a game. It was just another Monday. But it took longer to... See like this? See how it's sitting on that Monday? What do the little circles mean? Yeah, what's that about? What the hell? Very, very exciting. Yeah, this game. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. It's so confusing. You only send a player that is currently scratched to the minors. Please make sure changes in the edit line screen. To make this player a scratch, then proceed to send him down to the minors. What? How do I send you down to the minors? Scrat, please make changes in the edit line screen. Edit line screen. All right, that I'll get there. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna get coffee real quick. No. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna make it to the playoffs this year. If you click the play button, no, I can only select the Ducks. I can only select the Ducks or center. Otherwise, I could just select the other team and then lose. We just pull the goalie over and over. That'd be pretty funny. All right, let's see. This is very confusing. Yeah, I think you're right, Turtle. I think that's a good call. I need to figure out how I can actually select my team for the I'm gonna quit this real quick. Yes. Alright. We're gonna play now. Nope, not play now. We're gonna do game modes. Dynasty mode. New. Skill level rookie. Starting rosters. Like whatever. Season tie. We could do a shootout. So there's no ties. I think the ties might actually no overtime. Like, should we turn off the salary cap? Yeah, what is this AI learning? What if we don't allow the AI to learn? What is that better or worse for me in the simulation? We're gonna find out. All right, we gotta go ding ding again. I'll stay as ding ding manager. Oh, substitute team, there it is. Wait, what? I could just play as the all-star team? I could just be the NHL Western Conference all-star team? I mean, let's try that. Sure. Oh, that's a really good idea too. That could take forever, but I think with the all-star team, we might be. I think I might be okay. We're gonna find out. Yeah, right. All-star team better. We're about to- So is the music part of the game? Yeah, the music's part of the game. This is the whole thing's about to be muted. Oh, we lost our first game. Wow, All-Star team not doing so hot. The Western Conference All-Stars. Get it together, y'all. I shouldn't need to switch up my roster at all, in theory. Like, I legit have the All-Stars. Alright, we're definitely off to a better start. That's for sure. They just took a little bit to get going here. Now we're 8-2, no ties. I spoke too soon, 8-3. Plays every player in the minors. Congratulations, you have no team. The coaching staff has to get on the ice. Meow, meow, meow. Turn up the radio. Jimmy Chungus for show. I'ma punch you in your toe. 13-4-1. I mean, this is definitely better. There sure is a lot more of that going on. I'm excited to play the game at some point. I think I can save right before the playoffs and then just play through those. But I feel like I should be able to win the playoffs as well. I think maybe I'll save before I simulate the playoffs. That's probably the move. When everyone is in the minors, but I think I can only change my team. I don't think I could send other teams' players to the minors. It's not a bad strat, though. I like where your head's at, Terp. Meow, 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 meow. 23-7-4. We are the winningest. We are the winningest. Game keeps promoting you to take players, and if you do, put all the... Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many seasons I would have to simulate to get to that point. It'd be hilarious. Does the game continue to make new players? Like, how does that work? 'Cause yeah, let's say we simulated 1,000 seasons and then just placed every player into the minors over those. I think you're onto something. It could work eventually. You gotta find out there. Looks like you gotta get this game. Jeez Louise. All right. All-star game? Nah. Every game is an all-star game for me. I mean, our record is insane. Hopefully it lets me save before the playoffs. It should, right? Like, in theory. "41, 14, and 6. Yeah, we killing it. It's weird to lose any games, though. I'm just saying. As the All-Star team. It legit must be a low likelihood, but still possibility, of course. It's 43, 17, and 6. Okay. So many games. Oh dear. Now we're screaming about things. Trade deadline passing. This whole game's gonna be muted for sure. Well, if we made it to the playoffs on our last one with a much worse record, we should make it this time too, right? What's going on a Tuesday? It's taking so long. Okay. When is the... Okay, regular season has ended. Look at that. We got an achievement. Okay. So we won our first game against the Oilers. But how do I save it now? There we go. I guess I could just do Dynasty. Now I know. Now it's my Dynasty. All right. Just gotta win this. That's it. Just gotta win. Boom. All right. All right. We won our playoff games. All right, we won our first game there. This is so silly. Don't have any idea how silly this is. Calendar. All right. So now I can just simulate. Give me a win. On a roll. Oh, dang. We swept them. Uh-oh. Lost our first game to the Sharks, though. I'm just going to see what happens, and then I'll reload if I have to. Dang. Sharks got us. All right. All right. All right. All right. Stop. 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 Yeah, we're just getting all the achievements. How do I load my Dynasty now? Quit. Okay. Dynasty mode. Load. Dynasty. Didn't sweep him this time. That was okay. Oh no. Lost one already. I might have to, all right, we got him that time. All right, we got him that time. Swept the Sharks. Rich guy gets the Stanley Cup, yeah. Oh no! Oh no, stream unavailable. Oh. Stream suspended for policy violations. Your stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected audio belonging to someone else. Oh my gosh. That's so much bullshit. That's some AI bullshit right there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, I'll just download my YouTube. I'll download my YouTube VOD. And then, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. All right, anyways. Nah. Yeah, it's just bullshit, because, like, I'm playing a game. It's not like I'm just playing this music to play it. It's because it's AI bologna sauce. They got some AI thing deciding. Oh well. This means I'm gonna have to upload my VOD. Yeah, but it's fine on the shorts, which is weird. It's the stream stopped on YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube stream. One of the two YouTube streams stopped. One of them didn't, though. Come on, can we get the win? We're gonna have to play these, huh? Oh no! We got it. Oh wait, I won. That was for the champions, Stanley Cup champions, Western All-Stars. So I won the Stanley Cup. Huh. I should at least play the last game, right? There was no visual indicator that we were like where we were in the series, so I did create a save. So I should at least play the last game. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Turtle. I'm only going to play the last game, though. I'm not going to play the whole series. The problem is I'll have to do it game by game. I could do 4 games and see if we win. Simulate to this day. No, not. Okay, we lost 1. Did we only lose 1? Oh, this is it. All right, let's make this save. That was perfect. That was actually That was actually perfect. So I save. We're literally on the last game now. Skunky, welcome. Yo, my YouTube VOD. My YouTube VOD got shut down because of the music from this game. They're hella mad about it. Some bologna sauce. Alright, I think I saved it. I stopped paying attention. Let's save it again, just in case. So I'm on the last game. Oh my gosh, earthquake detected. I just got an earthquake alert, y'all. Yeah, it said drop, take cover. Huh. Oh wow, coincidentally not at day job today. Yeah, cartoon streamer makes sense. Cartoon streamer is like saying AI artist. Like, oh, I stream people's cartoons that I didn't create and I call it content. That's crazy. The quake was coming from the inside of the house. All right, play night. Oop. No. All right, let's play this. I want to play this game. Play this one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those streams shouldn't exist, in my opinion. Should not exist. What if I can't play it? What if my only option is... Oh, wait. What if I click on it? I don't want to simulate anymore. Can I play it? I don't know if I can play it, Turtle. There's no play next game option. Great, and it overrode the save. Yeah, only simulate up to this day. Huh. Oh, that was really dumb. Well, I was gonna just play the final game in the series to win the Stanley Cup, but for some reason now they're not letting me. Yeah, I can sim further. The problem is if I win, I win. They're like, yeah, boom, I won the Stanley Cup. Shit, I should have made another save. What if I leave? What if I leave and then come back? But yeah, Skunky, I have to win the Stanley Cup basically, but I wanted to play the last game at least. Yeah, what the hell? Why can't I play the next game? You might have to... Alright, I might have to start over and sim again. I need to lose this game. Alright, I'm on the game now. Can I play it? I just had to be on it. Yo. Alright, we're good. I just had to be on it. Stormy. I guess I figure out how to play hockey now. That's right. Ugh. Just gotta score a goal. Oh, I shoot with the stick. Pass. Saucer pass. Oh my gosh. Great. This is already complicated. Body check. Body move in. Body move in. Look at us. We got get that saucer pass. Gotta win the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup final action. Game 5, looking for the league champion. The Western All-Stars got the advantage, and even more of an advantage since they are home. And Ottawa's down in the series 3 games to 1 and on the road. You're looking for a hero in this game.
I don't know who Stanley is, honestly.
And we're underway. Check the goals for, and what you see in both of these teams' categories is a lot of them.
It's a sniper's kind of game.
All right. So they're going to force me to pass. So I'm not offsides.
Yes, puck under control brings that into the offensive end. That one's blistered on the snapshot. Puck ends up in the seats. Man, that hit off the iron. It was behind the goaltender.
Try a little wrap around.
Poke check, center ice. Puck rolls free. Picks that puck up in front of his own net. And there's a stoppage in play. That's going to be whistled on the offside. With Florida set a franchise record 107.
I have not found the kissing button yet, unfortunately. Chugdor, welcome in.
That he is the ultimate workhorse. Nobody is
Whoa, the stream came back on YouTube when the audio ended, when the music ended.
Every night.
Good effort on the poke.
Better don't.
Roam that puck away. Move back up to the point. Look at a smoke behind that one. He'll handle that one in his own offensive end. Quick shot. Not going to make it to the net. That one bounces off somebody. Right back to
Get him. Bite him in the nose.
2-on-2 the other way. It's a cannonade. Got to get rid of that puck in the
Yo, that almost
whistle a face off. He covered it up.
that almost went in. How dare you?
To Havlet. Into the offensive zone. 3-on-2. Takes the shot and nothing on it. Receives that puck back on the point from down low. From the point.
Better stop. I gotta figure out how to hit it hard.
Takes that pass up the middle of the ice on his way in. Big wrist shot. Big time
Okay,
save
that was a
with
good wrist
stick. Here's
shot.
a chance. That's a
Oh,
save.
okay.
It's going to be driven away with a blocker. At the point. Oh, got rid of that one in a hurry. Picks that puck up in front of the net. That's in his own defensive end. Dangerous land right there. Scoring opportunity. Quick chance. He's got that one in the neutral zone on his way up ice. Great long pass. Tremendous pass on the tape, and that one was airborne. Vanif.
Oh no! I got scored on. Great. This is on the easiest difficulty.
Only asked to be given just a little piece. You got a big piece that still went in.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to leave
Good shot. Can't be mad about it.
Get a chunk of them and have them go in your net.
To second. Scoring chance down low. Takes the shot.
What?
Here's an offensive chance. 3-on-2. Good wrist shot. Wide of the net as that one hit somebody in front. Solani.
Salami.
That's a good angle shot. Nice save with a pad. In the air and on the tape to Spencer. On the charge. 3-on-2. Shot.
Damn.
On that one.
Almost got me again.
one back to the point. Takes a shot. Great use of the glove right there. What a save.
Oh, they're too good.
Of the leather. What a glove save on this one.
You stop it.
Coming to the end of the first. Heatley still got the only marker. It's 1-0. To Zetterberg. Offensive opportunity. 3-on-2. Chance.
Let's go.
Right when they needed it. We've got a tie game. Call it a goal, call it a lucky goal. It's still a point.
Hey, it's the only way it would have gone in. He had to back
All
off
right.
the crossbar.
We'll figure that out.
The Western All-Stars offense puts it up here with time running down in the first.
I know the coaching staff was saying, keep working, guys. We're going to get another one.
Scored by number 40, Zetterberg. Assisted by number 20.
Quick opportunity. Good poke check to free that puck up. Bad save and a great opportunity. Good pass into the center ice area all the way from the defensive zone. Blast the one-time.
Better don't.
Control that puck in front of his own net. Offensive rush, 3-on-2. Had it down low. Now they take it back up to the line. On the stick and the slide. And we've completed our first period of play. After
Almost,
one,
Turtle. Almost.
Restaurants offer a 20% discount with the presentation of your ticket stub when ordering. Be sure to
All right.
Great to have you with us,
Oh, no.
everybody, as we get underway here in the second period. Carries that puck down low. Eats on, dangerous territory. Nice leg movement as he kicks it away. Looking ahead. Big snap in the defensive zone. Finds that in front of his own.
Give me that.
Into the offensive zone. 3-on-2. Takes that pass from down low. He's got it along the line. Fired shot that's just not where you wanted it to be.
Yeah, sometimes you grip the stick a little too tight and you miss your target.
Takes that pass up on the line from down low. Save made in the glove. Nice quick snap.
No.
Shot gets blocked. Good pickup of the puck in front of the net. Beautiful use of the pads. Knocked away a good
Damn.
scoring chance. Great
Oh,
long
close.
pass from the defensive zone to center ice.
No.
Got that shot off in a hurry. Oh, what an opportunity. Man, oh, man. Measure that one on the radar and just inches wide. Score!
No.
And another one in the goal column. He's got a chance for a trick.
I need to understand the controls. I can't seem to steal the puck. Let's see. Where are my controls? There we go. All right. Wind up. That's fine. Shoot, pass, aim, fake shot, pass. Okay, defense. Line change, dive block, hook up, tie. Body check. Poke check. Slash start fighting. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna understand this enough. We'll just keep playing.
You can't practice that shot, but when it happens, you sure wish you could.
Love that sound as long as the light comes on right after it.
Ottawa goal. Scored by number 15.
Straight back to Perreault.
Assisted by number 11.
No, you booty chunk.
To Heatley. Big period goal. It's the one that's given them the one-goal lead. Big-time wrist shot. Save made. Big chance down low.
Damn.
He held on to it. Big-time effort.
Buffet Infinity. Oh, thank you, Chainsaw.
Over 9 minutes gone in the second. The Senators are involved in a tight game here. You take a look at the shots are about equal, and so's the score. That one's blistered on the snapshot. And he hangs on. We'll get a face-off here.
Sentient Buffet. That's pretty amazing. Is that what happened in Spirited Away?
Quick shot. Save made.
No, that was
Goaltender's got
behind
that
him
one
too.
underneath.
He
We'll get a
fell on it.
Take the wood, knock it away. He did. Good save made. Great play right there. Great hands as he got it out of the zone and into the center ice area. Whistle, face off, had it covered.
All right. Told through commercials and news clips. That's a really smart idea. You can make a pretty solid movie
Pass from down
off
low.
a
He's got it on the
small
point.
budget
one
that
bounces
way.
off the body and won't make it to the goal. To Solani. Through center to
Salami.
Here's an offensive chance. 3 on
No,
2.
you
Spezza.
passed it back to them.
On the charge. 3 on 2. Good poke check on the odd man rush.
Great.
To the point. That baby's burning. Didn't have to do much on that one. Makes the save.
Oh, great. We gonna lose, y'all.
Glove save. Another save. And another save. Great opportunity denied. Nice glove save and a shot that came in a good opportunity. Big wrist shot.
Damn.
Chance. Shooter had a chance. That stick got there before he could get that shot off. Oh, got rid of that one in a hurry. Off the rebound.
No,
Chance.
this is impossible.
Through center ice
Just-
they come.
just
Now
make
on
a
the
goal.
tables, he heads up ice. Bouncing puck off a body on the way through. Carries that puck into a high offensive scoring area. Draw coming. Nice play on an opportunity there. We got
Some dude was rapping at the pawn
This is a
shop or
good play. I
something.
mean, the goalie could see that he was about to get
What?
thrashed around the waves a little more, get washed up on shore, and get a little sunshine with the face-off coming.
Takes that one up the wing. Scoring opportunity. Quick chance. Save that one. He scored.
All right, we got it.
Answer goal.
Tied it up.
For shooters, there's a new guy in town. This guy is supposed to be a playmaker, not a sniper.
The Weston All-Stars score here in the final minute of this period. That's a big goal.
I think it's a backbreaker.
Two teams putting on a good show. This
I was about to go
one's
check their
match,
goalie.
And it is not over. 2-2 after 2. And these two teams will try and settle it right here as we're underway. Third period action. Good effort on a one-timer. Picks that puck up in his offensive zone. That one went wide. Shot. That's a one-time opportunity. Goaltender got it. Great chance. Hurried it up. Up and over, ladies and gentlemen. That puck ended up over the glass, and the crowd will get a whistle here. Good wrist shot. Great save. What a move. Out of the glove. Has that puck under control in his offensive zone. That one's going to hit somebody on the way through and not going to make it to the net. Over the sheet to Heatley. 2-on-2 the other way. Quick opportunity.
Better don't.
Wisnowski. Big snap, but it hit the post. Makes the move in the offensive zone. He's got it.
No. No.
Wisnowski. Nice quick snap. Save made. Emery's effort in net tonight His team
All
will say
right.
thank you if they can find a way to get the game-winning goal.
Man, has he had a workout? He needs some offensive support. If he gets that, he's in business.
Good save with the glove. That one had a chance to find Twine. To Heatley. Could be a collection of hats. He needs one more. He's got 2 in this game. Back up onto the point on that pass from down low. Want to go D to D. Tremendous shot, and that's from a scoring chance area. Through center to second. Cole got that shot off in a hurry. Nobody's got control of that puck yet. Good scrum along the wall. Shot bounces away. Second. Big time wrist shot. That one's blistered on the
Damn.
shot. Save made. That one's up and over the glass. Souvenir. Taking back to the point. Quick shot. That one coming off the post. Picks that puck up in behind the net.
Oh no.
Jovanovski. Beautiful long pass through the defensive zone into the neutral area.
Offsides.
Face-off coming up. That whistles for the
Ugh.
offside.
I saw him move offsides too, but it was too late.
Takes that return pass and heads up.
Get off.
Brought in on the
You
offside.
ding ding. Stop going offsides. You gotta let me pass.
Be careful, he's got to move that. Got that one out of there in time. And with that whistle,
Offsides
an offside
again? What
face-off
the hell
coming
is my team doing? What are they doing?
up. Center ice area pass.
Can we just get it, get it over, get it across the ice, please? All right, keep this up. Now I gotta keep the puck.
And now if they can get their checkers on the ice against the other team's top offensive lines,
No.
they've got a chance to win.
Oh no,
Handles that one at the point and cleanly.
that's the opposite of what I needed to do.
Take advantage of the end of that stick. He pokes it away in the defensive end. Thornton's being assessed a 2-minute minor tripping.
Got a penalty, great.
The Senators
This is not what we needed.
opportunity number 1 and at a crucial time.
All right, this is the opportunity they've been waiting for. Now it's time for the power play to cash in and draw them into a tie. Down by a goal with an opportunity to pull even. Now we'll find out what this power play unit is made of.
That puck being carried along the boards up through the neutral zone.
Look at that guy just stuck talking to his bench.
Because you don't know. If you're a grown up, you hardly know. You hardly
Yeah,
know
just stay,
that.
like, don't cross.
Yeah.
Just don't cross.
The
'Cause they want to defend the line.
Western is over. We're back to even strength. And that's it. They have won the Stanley Cup, the end of the road, and let the celebration begin.
Let's go, y'all. We did it.
What an unbelievable feeling. I've been there twice. It is so hard to put the feelings into words.
What a finish.
You can't believe that you've won. At the other end, you realize the journey has ended in a loss.
Thank you for the GGs, y'all. NHLOA.
One of the great traditions
What a
in all
tough
of
game.
sport, they go through the traditional
That's why-
handshake
I bet tickets are more than $500, honestly.
Awards to be made, of course, the Conn Smythe, the MVP of the playoffs. There is
Dang.
the Conn Smythe.
Let's go. Look at that. There it is. There it is.
To the captain, there it is. Lord Stanley's Hardware.
Yeah, 08 price is fair, Turtle. That's a fair assessment. True.
It is such a grueling journey. And when you finally get a chance to hoist the Stanley Cup, you might think players would be out of gas.
Well,
the trophy actually weighs over 30
there it is.
pounds, but when you get it in your hands, feels like it weighs about as much as a
That's NHL 08. We beat it. We beat the game. I hope all the hockey games are that easy.
Until you have won it.
But it is this spectacle, raising the cup over your head, holding it in two hands, that every kid grows up dreaming about.
And now time for the traditional team photo.
Yeah, the
ladies
cup
gentlemen.
and a DMCA. Oh, look at us, little cuties. Like, yeah, bro, how many of them are gonna kiss later? That's the real question. That is the real question. Well, that's it. It's time for game 69, y'all. It's time for game 69. What's game 69 gonna be, though? That's the real question. I don't know if this game... Let's see if there's credits. Back to the DMCA. I don't care, dude. I won. I don't care. Settings. Volume settings. There we go. Yeah, I think you're right, Turtle. It's not a bad idea. Just knock out a bunch. Where would credits be? If I were credits. Oh, there they are. Gotta run the credits, y'all. All right. While credits are running, I will get marbles set up. Wow, that was a tough game. Really, really difficult game, that hockey stuff. It sucks that my YouTube VOD is going to be wonkified. I got to look into that. Might have to update my Twitch VOD. That's fine. Hopefully it was still like recording on the YouTube side and then it can just be muted, but we'll see. What am I doing? Marbles. All right, y'all. Exclamation mark Xbox if you'd like to suggest a game. I'm putting Catherine in there for sure. Because, you know, you gots to. Let's put Bullet Witch too. Bullet Witch is so dumb. It might be in there. I don't know. Excuse me. Golf games and most arcade sports titles. Okay. Like NBA Street, NFL Blitz. Ooh, Epic Mickey 2. Good choice. I've wanted to play that game for a really long time. All right, that's good. So at least most of the stuff I should be able to sim through. They make sports games chill. All right, first things first. Blah, blah, blah. I need to remove NHL 08. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, we could rip through games if we just sat down and did a sports day. Where's NHL 08? I could add NHL 09. I think I have all the NHL games. Hold on, Catherine. I'll add NHL 09. I'll add Epic Mickey. What a great choice. What a great choice.
If you're a grown-up, you hardly
I need to make sure I
hardly
removed
do
the two
this
because
if
there were
you're
two
not
nears
a
before, and I
parent.
don't know if I removed the one. Or I don't know if I removed one of them. Look for near. Near 1. Near 2. Bye. Biggest Loser Ultimate Workout is on there. I got 82 games right now. I put Shivering Isles on there too. Yeah, Biggest Loser's on there. It almost won yesterday. It got dangerously close to winning yesterday. There's 82 games, so it's going to be harder and harder to find something. I don't think Bullet Witch is on here. I'll add Bullet Witch too. That game, gosh. That game.
Because you don't know. If you're a grown-up, you hardly
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, how long that game is. Do each workout routine. That's the win condition. I like it. I like it. I'm here for it. Heads up. We detected audio in your stream belonging to someone else. What the hell? Okay. Okay, bro. Is there still audio going on with that? Is there audio playing right now with the credits? That's dumb. Maybe. Cool. Bye. Anyways. Don't care. Let me see. Condemned 2. I don't know, actually. Let's see. There's so many games. We have 83 games at this point. I need to update my site, too. I forgot to do that yesterday. No, Condemned 2 is not on there. $84 games. Yeah, I love the Condemned games.
Money, please. Money, please.
Absolutely love them. Smash Lee, thank you for the 21 months. Welcome back to the chaos. Enjoy your emotes or don't. I'm not your real dad. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, cool. Game 69. Well, that's why I put Catherine in there. I was going to just play Catherine for Game 69. It's pretty M-rated. Adult only title, but I'm just going to keep it in marbles. Well, it's good to have you back. The schedule change been all over the place. That's a bunch of doo-doo. What you gonna do? I'm glad you still find some time to wander on in. Life be lifing sometimes. Ooh, I gotta make yellow real quick. Credits are still rolling? Yeah, be white black.
Good morning, good morning. We've gabbed the whole night through. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yo, Radiant. Sim by the lake? What? That's great. Got a lot to do today. I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy day. It's fine. It's fine, right? It's gonna be busy day. Busy day. Busy day. Yeah, busy day. Busy day. Busy day. Busy day. Yeah, busy day. Gonna be busy day.
Gonna poke a piggy with a stick.
Hella busy day. All right. Credits still rolling. Gotta run the credits. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. What are you going to Colorado for? That should be nice. Whoa. Excuse me. Wow. Dang, sister's getting married. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Yeah, that's super cool. And you get to go to Colorado. That's a win-win right there. That's what they call a win-win. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Now that's gonna be stuck in my head. But I think it's fine. Yeah, safe travels. Zero. Hockey's done. Hockey's so done. Running credits. I'm about to pick the next game. Once these credits finish, they're just so. Oh, did they loop? Is that what happened? They just infinitely. Oh, they did. Yo, they hecka did. Yo, thank you, Turtle Wax. All right, let's go. Okie dokie. Good eye, Turtle. Thank you. Let's find out. 84 games. 84 marbles. Let's find out what game 69 is going to be. Just oops, credits only. Oh no, did it freeze? Come on. Did it freeze? Oh my Jenga. I think the game froze. I think marbles froze. All right. That's how it goes when the marbles froze. Let me get marbles fixed. GG marbles. GG. 80 something marbles was too many, I guess. What you gonna do? Hopefully it kept the games that I added to the list, but we'll find out together. Then I look at you. And everything is alright with PB. Okay. Let's try again. Race. Add names. It saved it. Okay, good. It did save it. So that's good. Enjoy the lyric. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, let's try this one. 3 minutes and 30 seconds is... That's hell long. 84. 84 marbles and we're going to space. Let's go. Ooh, all right, Turtle. You never get to see these, so... This is an exciting moment. I appreciate you hanging out for the game decision. It's time to find out what game 69 is going to be. Assuming it can load them. Oh my gosh, look at all the marbles. We're just going to go. Okay, we are dropping down the what is it, Planko? What is it, Pachinko? There's a lot going on here. Flying around some planets. It's still anybody's race, but right now Smurfs 2 is in the lead. They are not playing around. Smurfs knows what they want, and they want to be next. Alien Colonial, Colonel, alien Colonial. What kind of night? Aliens is behind. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Titanfall. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts pulls into the lead. They're like, man, Zelda wants to steal my mechanics. I'll show you. No sports games. There are some sports games on there. Hey, sports games are quick, though, and they have to be played eventually. Unfortunately, all sports games have to be played at some point. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is currently in the lead with Smurfs. Not far behind with Dark Souls in third. Could Dark Souls overtake Just Dance 2014? Turtle would love that. Brave. Anybody's race at this point. Banjo-Kazooie is there. Brave, Just Dance. What is happening here? Oh, my rampin'. Oh, my Lanta. Banjo-Kazooie first down the ramp. Oh, it's fast. It is fast. Smurfs still in second, but now you got to climb. Got to climb it. Dang, this is a long one for sure. Holy moly. And the moly is holy. Banjo-Kazooie Smurfs. Look at that. Look at that chaos. Farming simulator back there. X-Blades. Show. Oh, is it going to make the jump? All right. Banjo makes the jump. Where are you going now? Another Smurfs is still holding on strong right behind them. Whoops, caps, eh? Nothing wrong with the little caps in your life. Put little caps in your life. Yo, Banjo-Kazooie might take this. I don't know if there's any moment where a marble could potentially catch up. I think this is just a straightforward... Like, what's going on here? Yeah. Oh, a little bustier. Oh, yeah, totally. I'm glad somebody made that video. The first time I saw Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, oh, they legit just took the Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts mechanics. Neat. Slapped them onto Zelda, and they were like, totally new. Look at us and our totally new idea. Oh, this is not your traditional Banjo-Kazooie game. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Okay, so this could be the equalizer. This could be the equalizer, and it could launch. And it could launch a marble into the stratosphere. Here comes Banjo-Kazooie first. Solid lead. I think at this point, the only way Banjo-Kazooie is losing is if it gets yeeted. Grid gets yeeted. Trials, Rayman. Banjo-Kazooie playing it safe here, just slowly. Catherine, Thief, a bunch of different marbles got yeeted. Banjo-Kazooie is like, can't have it. NCAA is not far behind. Going through the googly moogly. I think Banjo-Kazooie is going to take this. I think there's no way. Unless this right here has something to say about it. Nope. Skates on by. And Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. With NCAA March Madness coming in second, Cameo coming in third, 007 Legends, Tornado Outbreak, Brave, Rogue Warrior, Just Dance, Resonance of Fate, Flat Out Ultimate Carnage. Rounding out the top 10, we got Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. We're going to start that tomorrow. It's a long game, too. It is a long game. Exodus, welcome in. It is not the Banjo-Kazooie you are familiar with. It is a very different game. It's essentially kind of like a racing game. There's a bunch of different objectives and things you do, but you got to create vehicles to do them. Oh my shanana. Oh my shanana. Look at that. Let's see. So many marbles got yeeted. Like half of them. Almost. 33 of them DNFs. Hachi Machi. I'll get that game installed today. We'll pick that up tomorrow. I got stuff I got to take care of, unfortunately. I don't think I shouldn't start a game when I get too many things to do. But I'll get it set up for tomorrow. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. NHL was easy breezy since we did the keep away strats. There was a moment I thought we were gonna have to play multiple games, but pulled through in the end, brought it together, out here winning. All right, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Game 69 will start tomorrow. Taco Drop, I love your letters. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah. Have a good day, or don't. I'm not your real dad, but I'll see you tomorrow if I don't see you sooner. Okay, bye.